Gene Hackman. Even if you're only a casual movie fan, chances are you've seen him command the screen with an intensity and authenticity that few actors can match. Did you know that before becoming a Hollywood legend, Hackman was once voted least likely to succeed during his days at the Pasadena Playhouse? It's a fascinating anecdote because his film career would go on to span over 4 decades, earning him multiple Academy Awards and universal acclaim. From gritty thrillers to heartfelt sports dramas, Hackman's presence elevated every production, showcasing a magnetic blend of authority, vulnerability, and surprising humor. He wasn't just a star, he was a powerhouse performer, one who never shied away from complexity and always brought a commanding energy to his roles. So, how do we pick just 10 films from such a legendary career? It's no easy task, but we've chosen the absolute must-watch classics that capture the breadth of his acting range. Get comfortable and get ready to discover the top 10 best movies of Gene Hackman. 1. The French Connection, 1971. Let's begin with the film that propelled Gene Hackman to worldwide fame and earned him his first Academy Award for Best Actor, The French Connection. If you've never seen it, think of a gritty cop drama before it became standard fare. This is the movie that set the tone for decades to come. Hackman's portrayal of Doyle is brash, unyielding, and flawed. You can't help but root for him, even when his single-minded obsession with catching the criminal mastermind starts to blur the lines between hero and anti-hero. Many fans are surprised to discover that Hackman initially worried he wouldn't be convincing as a tough detective. But once the cameras rolled, he completely embodied Popeye's streetwise grit. The French Connection won Best Picture at the Academy Awards, cementing its place in cinema history. If you're a fan of raw, authentic crime storytelling, this film is practically a must, and Hackman's performance remains a gold standard for hard-edged cop roles. 2. Unforgiven, 1992. Moving on, Unforgiven might just be one of the most acclaimed westerns ever made, directed by and starring Clint Eastwood. But don't forget that Gene Hackman plays a pivotal part here, snatching an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. Have you ever wondered what would happen if a lawman was just as ruthless as the outlaws he's tasked with putting behind bars? That's Hackman's Bill Daggett, a small-town sheriff who's downright terrifying when it comes to enforcing order. From the moment he strides onto the screen, you sense the tension between his desire to keep the peace and his willingness to commit brutal acts in the name of justice. Watching Hackman and Eastwood face off is like witnessing a master class in subtle, menacing standoffs. There's a fascinating behind-the-scenes tidbit. Hackman reportedly hesitated to take on such a villainous part, but Eastwood convinced him that the moral ambiguity would make for an unforgettable character. Indeed, Hackman's portrayal of Bill Daggett resonates deeply, reminding viewers that good and evil aren't always so clear-cut. This film isn't your typical Western with loud shootouts at every corner. It's a dark, introspective meditation on violence, consequences, and the haunting baggage that comes from a life of bloodshed. Unforgiven remains a landmark in American cinema, and Hackman's performance is a big reason why it continues to captivate audiences. 3. The Conversation, 1974. If you've ever been curious about films that expertly mix paranoia and suspense, Francis Ford Coppola's The Conversation is a must-see. In this film, Gene Hackman stars as Harry Call, a surveillance expert whose obsessive attention to privacy ironically makes him a socially awkward loner. Hackman's performance is uncharacteristically subdued compared to his more forceful roles, showcasing his ability to inhabit quieter, introspective characters. The tension ramps up when Harry realizes the taped conversation he's been analyzing may end in violence. Suddenly, his guilt drives him to unravel the mystery. The film's slow burn style lures you in, creating an atmosphere of palpable dread and unease. Many fans love discovering that this film was actually sandwiched between Coppola's two Godfather masterpieces, proving he could excel outside the gangster realm. Hackman's work here is so nuanced and empathetic, you can't help but be pulled along by his moral crisis. The Conversation is not just a thriller, it's a psychological study that resonates more strongly in our modern age of data leaks and mass surveillance. If you haven't watched it, prepare for a riveting experience that demonstrates Hackman's extraordinary range. 4. Mississippi Burning, 1988. Few movies can fuse history, social commentary, and electrifying performances as compellingly as Mississippi Burning. Directed by Alan Parker, this film tackles the brutal reality of racism in the 1960s Deep South, with Hackman playing Agent Rupert Anderson, an FBI operative investigating the disappearance of civil rights activists. Have you ever felt the palpable tension in a community on the brink of violent confrontation? This film plunges you directly into that volatile atmosphere. Hackman's Anderson is at times disarmingly folksy. He knows how to chat with suspects and gain trust without flashing his badge too quickly. Opposite him is Willem Dafoe as Agent Ward, whose by-the-book approach clashes with Anderson's more intuitive methods. The result is a fascinating dynamic, two men sharing the same goal but clashing over how to get there. Hackman's charm in this role subtly masks an undercurrent of deep moral outrage. It's a reminder that genuine charisma can be a powerful weapon against institutionalized hatred. The film sparked some controversy upon release regarding historical accuracy, but it was widely praised for its unflinching portrayal of racial violence. Hackman's performance earned him an Oscar nomination, and the film remains an important piece of cinematic history, especially for viewers interested in civil rights issues and stories that bravely confront America's past. 5. Hoosiers, 1986. Need a sports drama that will have you cheering from your couch? Look no further than Hoosiers, one of the most inspiring basketball films ever made, with Gene Hackman at its core as Coach Norman Dale. Did you know that Hackman actually had reservations about doing a sports movie, worried it might fall into cliched territory? Luckily, he took the leap, and we ended up with a timeless tale of redemption, team spirit, and small-town pride. Hackman's portrayal of Coach Dale is tough, but deeply compassionate. He arrives in a tiny Indiana town with a checkered past, determined to turn the local high school basketball team into champions. Along the way, he faces suspicion from both the community and his players. Watching him channel a mixture of discipline, fatherly guidance, and fiery passion on the sidelines is a major part of the film's magic. The final scenes, especially that big game, are legendary for how they capture underdog triumph without resorting to cheesy fanfare. Hoosiers also features Dennis Hopper in a heart-wrenching role as the town drunk turned assistant coach, a performance that earned Hopper an Oscar nomination. Together, Hopper and Hackman lend a soulful depth to a movie that's about more than just basketball. It's about second chances, unity, and the idea that sometimes the biggest obstacle is believing in yourself. 6. Superman, 1978. Now let's pivot to something entirely different, the world of superheroes. Have you ever wondered what Gene Hackman would look like as a comic book villain? Look no further than Superman, 1978, where he portrays the iconic Lex Luthor opposite Christopher Reeve's Man of Steel. While this might be a lighter role than some of his intense dramas, it's no less entertaining. Hackman's Lex Luthor is cunning, witty, and oozes charm as he plots to outsmart Superman. One fun fact many fans might not know: Hackman famously refused to shave his head to replicate Luthor's signature baldness, resulting in a variety of wigs and clever camera angles to maintain the illusion. Despite this, his portrayal became a benchmark for future Lex Luthor adaptations, showing just how far clever scheming and a dash of charisma can go in challenging a seemingly invincible hero. The movie itself was groundbreaking, one of the first superhero blockbusters to take its source material seriously while still having fun. It spawned an entire era of comic-based films and helped shape the superhero genre we know today. Hackman's presence gave Superman a gravitas that balanced Reeves' earnest heroism. For many viewers, his performance is an essential ingredient in what makes this version of Superman so endlessly rewatchable. 7. Bonnie and Clyde, 1967. Before Gene Hackman was a household name, he delivered a memorable performance in Bonnie and Clyde, a film that redefined American cinema and sparked a wave of new Hollywood creativity. Starring Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway as the infamous outlaw couple, Hackman plays Buck Barrow, Clyde's easygoing brother. Ever wonder what it's like to be swept up into an underworld you never planned to join? Buck's story is exactly that. He's a likable goof who can't resist the thrill of his siblings' criminal escapades. The chemistry between the cast is a major draw here, and Hackman's scenes crackle with raw energy. One behind-the-scenes nugget is that Hackman initially struggled to land significant roles in Hollywood, but his performance in Bonnie and Clyde turned heads and earned him his first Oscar nomination. This pivotal moment in his career also marked a crucial shift in cinema. The film's blend of romance, violence, and tragic heroism was shocking, yet mesmerizing for 1960s audiences. Even today, it's a landmark movie that signifies the evolution of American film into grittier, more character-driven territory. For Hackman, it was the perfect showcase for the talent that would soon make him one of the industry's most sought-after stars. 8. Crimson Tide, 1995. If you're in the mood for nail-biting military suspense, Crimson Tide delivers in spades. Directed by Tony Scott and produced by Jerry Bruckheimer, this submarine thriller pairs Gene Hackman with Denzel Washington in a battle of wills beneath the ocean's surface. The tension powering Crimson Tide as Hackman's Captain Frank Ramsey and Washington's Lieutenant Commander Ron Hunter clash over an incomplete order to launch nuclear missiles. Hackman's portrayal of Ramsey is electrifying. He's a seasoned officer, unflinchingly ready to do what he believes is necessary, even if it means nuclear war. At the same time, he's frustrated by Hunter's insistence on verifying the order before launching. The claustrophobic corridors of the submarine intensify their standoff, and you can feel each actor pushing the other to the brink emotionally. Critics praised Hackman and Washington for their dynamic performances, calling their verbal showdowns some of the most gripping scenes in 90s cinema. Crimson Tide is also peppered with philosophical debates about war, duty, and the cost of blind obedience. It's a testament to Hackman's versatility that he can go from small-town basketball coach to submarine captain with absolute credibility. If you enjoy high-stakes drama backed by powerhouse acting, make sure Crimson Tide is on your watch list. 9. The Royal Tenenbaums, 2001. Ready for a change of pace again? The Royal Tenenbaums, directed by Wes Anderson, sees Hackman in the role of Royal Tenenbaum, the hilariously self-centered patriarch of an eccentric family of child geniuses. Hackman's comedic timing here is impeccable, delivering dry lines with a casual flair that anchors the film's whimsical tone. The production design is unmistakably Wes Anderson, packed with symmetrical shots and pastel colors. But it's Hackman's performance that provides much of the emotional core. He's perpetually scheming to win back his estranged wife, Angelica Houston, and reconnect with his grown children, played by Ben Stiller, Luke Wilson, and Gwyneth Paltrow. Did you know Anderson reportedly wrote the role with Hackman in mind, calling him the ultimate character actor with authority? Hackman initially hesitated to sign on, but the result is comedic gold. Over time, the Royal Tenenbaums has become a cult favorite, often cited for its quirky humor and poignant look at family dysfunction. Hackman's role demonstrates how seamlessly he could pivot to offbeat comedy after years of commanding dramas. 10. Enemy of the State, 1998. Rounding out our list is Enemy of the State, a high-octane thriller from director Tony Scott, starring Will Smith as an unsuspecting lawyer who becomes entangled in a vast government conspiracy. Ever wonder what might happen if you discovered surveillance technology was being used against you? Hackman appears as Edward Lyle, a reclusive former NSA operative who helps Smith's character navigate the world of wiretaps, hidden cameras, and digital espionage. Hackman's character has parallels to his role in The Conversation, hinting at a possible spiritual continuation of Harry Call's paranoia and expertise in surveillance. In this film, he's the wise mentor who's seen it all, cautioning Smith's character about the immense dangers of an omnipresent government. The chemistry between the two is fantastic. Hackman brings a steady gravitas that counters Smith's panicked energy. The breakneck chase scenes and high-tech hijinks might have seemed futuristic in 1998, but they feel eerily relevant today. And of course, Hackman's presence gives Enemy of the State an extra level of credibility and dramatic heft. It's a testament to how he consistently elevated every project he touched, even big-budget action flicks that could have been purely escapist without his nuanced performance. Gene Hackman's career is a masterclass in versatility, passion, and sheer talent. Whether he was immersing himself in the morally murky world of Mississippi Burning, barking orders on a submarine in Crimson Tide, coaching a small-town basketball team in Hoosiers, or embodying the sly humor of a Wes Anderson patriarch in The Royal Tenenbaums, Hackman left an indelible mark on cinema history. He wasn't just an actor who stuck to safe choices. He took risks, embraced flawed characters, and shaped some of the most memorable roles of the late 20th century. His performances have influenced a new generation of actors, proving that you don't need flashy gimmicks to captivate an audience, just raw, convincing authenticity. Which of these 10 Gene Hackman films do you love the most? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, because your support helps us keep these movie countdowns coming. Subscribe to our channel if you're new here. We've got plenty more entertaining film discussions, countdowns, and behind-the-scenes stories on the way. Thanks for tuning in, and remember to stay on the lookout for more iconic performances, because great cinema never goes out of style.